Hey there, YouTube. It's been a while. I had a baby boy. He set me back quite a bit. But today I've been jonesing to do some cutting. Gonna just touch up this saw and cut up some logs. All right, I've done it a lot of ways. I've used the regular single file, with the gauge for the rakers. I've done taking it off, used the grinding wheels and whatnot, the Dremel. I use the 2-in-1 by Stihl. I think it's amazing because it's quick. You do both all in one and everything's set right when you do it. You do have to do it a certain way. You have to hold it nice and flat down and push back a little bit, um, as you do with regular file, but you're also doing the rakers at the same time, so you really have to be making sure you're pressing down because it rides on both the teeth on these bars. But I'll show you a little bit. I do usually use the safety chain because I actually find it lasts a little longer, the cutting edge. And I don't notice a huge difference in time of cutting and whatnot. And also it has the ability to not kick as much. And you can still bore cut. It's actually a little smoother. Certain things take a little more time though. That's about it. I do a couple, pull it back, get nice and, this is a really good setup. It's a nice height too. These are all pretty much sharp, but before I go back there, easier to touch them up than it is to completely fix them after these next couple cuts. All right, I flipped it around. When you have the color still there, whether it's yellow or green or whatever you got, I always start from there. That way you see it come around, but you can also tell, the raker, like this one's shiny because I just hit it from the other side. That one's shiny, or that one's shiny. You can tell when that comes around too, but it's a lot easier just to use the color. But eventually over time, or if you weren't getting oil and you burnt it off or something like that, should also show you there's an arrow on this file. And if you notice right now it's going that way, and this angle does not line up with the saw, so you flip it over, this arrow pointing that way, it does line up with the way you want to go. So you just start hitting it like that. So this way I'm not like hugging the saw, but it still works out pretty good. Pushing straight down so that I'm using the flat file properly, and back so that you're getting into the C of the tooth. And you're, nice pressure to keep this flat the whole time. So it's kind of like your hands are doing a couple things at the same time, even though it looks like it's one fluid motion. Again, these ones weren't that bad. Usually if I'm just cleaning it up, I do, 2 or 3 passes, maybe 4. A lot of times, I'm doing more like 9 to 10, depending on if I hit something. All right, got her all sharpened up and fill it up. Premium gas and Stihl 2-stroke oil. Anyone who has a Stihl knows, make sure when you put these caps on the saw that they're actually on there, or you're going to work all day with a oily, wet pair of pants and boots. This saw, especially, for some reason, either the cap or the oil container there seems to reject the cap every once in a while. I usually use the platinum throughout the whole year, if not the winter, but they're out of the winter, and the regular, what is this? Their woodcutter blend seems a little thicker. I'm sorry, a little thinner than this, but thicker than the blue. So I'm going to go with this because we're actually going to get pretty much the first snow of the year. This, I believe tonight or tomorrow, we're getting possibly up to 12 inches. So we haven't had any snow this year. I'm pretty excited, but more excited to go cut. So I want to do some cutting before everything gets coated, and I'll bring you along for the ride. We're going to hop in the Avant in a second. All right, Avant 640 cold start. It's not that cold though. It's, I don't know, upper 30s, maybe lower 40s. Still, I'll glow plug it twice. Just waiting for the little yellow light here. There it goes. I'll shut it off and try it again. They want the throttle raised up a little bit. They go like 1/5 of the way. Still waiting for it. Sometimes it stalls out. All right, I'll let that warm up a bit and we'll travel out back. Switching over to the grapple. It's really convenient having the hydraulic attachment lock versus getting out. You still have to get out to connect the hydraulic line, which they made really easy. But for everything else, like switching over to the bucket or the forks, at least then you don't have to get out. And it makes it a lot easier here and there. See if I can back up a little bit. Take a peek, I'll hit the button. Right now, they're going down and locking. Just flip this little flap. Always make sure it's clean looking. Looking good. Oh, went the wrong way. Super easy. This thing's never in the right spot. I have to figure out a better system, maybe something to hold it up a little bit. It always seems to possibly get caught down in here. You got to be careful when you curl. All right, we're gonna head out back. Tight quarters, no problem for the Avant. Thing's amazing. It turns on a dime. And on grass, doesn't chop it up at all. Be the hardest part, getting through the fence and keeping these wolves in there at the same time. We'll see how we do. We might have to hit one of them with the grapple. The wolves are currently inspecting the tripod. I hope we can keep the tripod up without any issues. So, got some decent logs over here that are worth grabbing with the grapple. Just a lot easier. If you have the equipment, use it. It's fun too, and it's better than letting them sit. Like I said, I hadn't been working in a couple weeks. The boy gave us quite the scare, and unfortunately he has extremely healthy vocal cords and is a nocturnal, apparently. So we're starting to deal with that a little bit, like many other parents have. But it's time for me to get back out and start getting moving, getting the company back up and running, because I shut down a little bit for winter, even though there wasn't really a winter. Now we bring this back up into the front, we'll get a better view. Oh, watch the tripod. That's Berkeley and Reuben. The one that has a little bit of a red skin tone or red fur tone is the one that's Reuben, and then the one that's more gray and black is Berkeley. What are you doing? Today I got the 362. I've been loving it because I got the West Coast dogs and bark box on there, and that size in general is just a beautiful size. Still got tons of power, and it's not crazy heavy. As everything, it's personal preference. I'm going to chop up today because I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting, in the fashion work and come down and get my legs. I'm not in the bucket, and I haven't cut for a while. Keep some of the hater comments away if I can. Oh, wow. Yep, been out of work for too long. I have to stretch that out to the max. And can someone from the crowd come and help me buckle this thing? All right. I'd like to say that these were the smalls, but get out of here. This is what it's like having these pups. Even with all the stuff, they'll still be around, which I love. You just gotta be careful. The Avant used to scare them, but now you basically have to tap them with the tires to get them to go away. Isn't that true, Ruben? What are you doing? Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Show them how big you are. Stand up. Pretty good sized pup. Yeah. All right, you're gonna want to get out of here. Cold start, 362. 3 to 4 weeks of not running. Let it run on choke for a second. Tap it off. Not sure how this is going to go with the mic and the chainsaw. We'll see. But you might be listening to music versus chainsaw. We'll see. A lot of times this fades down really quick. Yeah, it's doing it. So I might end up having to turn the log, but I'll make a couple quick cuts. A lot of times I'll get bogged down. That's the dogs howling now, right behind the camera. Thought I could get them going again. Watch out, pups. Some might think that using the grapple is taking longer, but honestly, using the camera takes far longer. And the grapple just makes it super easy on your back. You never pinch wood, you never hit the ground. At the end of the day, you just feel better. camera and take a quick short. You know how they're pushing those shorts now. We're gonna rip some discs. The ms362c, regular full comp, safety chain, West Coast dogs, West Coast box, not tuned at all on the engine, but some pretty good size red oak, nice and solid. This is 25-inch bar. We'll rip some cookies. All right, rip some discs. Got another couple great logs. Those are the real good ones. They're not too big, but you can't really move them around. And when you split them up, you get some good wood out of it, not just like 3 or 4 pieces. And on my way to grab another one. It's really important that you don't just curl it up right now like that, because you can hit the boom, and depending on how far out the log is, you could hit the piston here too. So it's important that you bring the boom down and curl in, bring the boom down, curl in, until it rests on that plate down at the bottom. Save the machine. I always try to ride around like as compact as possible. As you can see, this big log, I mean, this has got to be a good 600 maybe. Nah, maybe a little less, but it's a good sized log and you can whip this thing around, no problem. See you later.